Okay, this is now the piece of equipment he could ask you to use for the steel plate, coil, etc. So it's steel related loads. So he'll ask you to identify it, then secondly put it onto the cage. Okay, so again safely and under control. So basically secure it onto the cage. Again, not throwing the item. Doing it nice and under control. Get as much slack in the chain on the floor as you can. And again securing it to the other side. So now we've got all the slack on the floor. The main two fail parts on this one are, firstly, not having all the threads out on the... So first thing we do is make sure, just till it gets hand tight, that we've got all the threads out on the actual ratchet. Because if not, you could run out of threads. You can just do it and always make sure that's in place before you start. So that's the first possible fail point of not having enough ratchet parts out, enough splines. The other bit is making sure that we get it with as little amount of slack on the chain as possible. So I've got it as close to there as I can and try and get as much slack on the floor. And this is quite a difficult part. You've got to... It's quite a difficult section to do this. Okay. So then get as much... See how I'm pulling as tight as I can with both left and right hand, because if we don't, the more slack we have in there, the more this has got to take it up. Once we've got it on there, we just basically, just like a normal ratchet, holding it with your left hand and turning it with your right, or vice versa, depending on which handed you are. And then you'll feel that it's not coming up in the sort of first 2/3 to 3/4 of the ratchet, but in the last quarter to third, as you can see there, it starts to tension the ratchet up. Okay, and we don't need it so it's pulling the walls of the cage in, just so it's, again, so that the examiner knows it's at a reasonable tension. When he's satisfied with that, he'll ask you to take it off the trolley safely, under control, a bit like a normal ratchet spanner. Just flip it the opposite way and do exactly the same thing as you did to tighten it up. Okay, again, it'll take a little while to get the splines out on the ratchet. Again, when you feel it tighten up again, you see how it's opening up on each side. We're nearly there, we're not far off. Okay, and again, no matter which side you go for first, just making sure that the catch is open. Again, this can be a bit of a handful with this, so don't panic. Keep under control at all times, as long as you can see you're doing it safely. The examiner knows it's a difficult piece of equipment to handle. And again, opening that on that side. Taking the equipment off and putting it back in its place where you found it. And again, removing the chain and putting it back in the same place as you found it. Remember, the most two difficult bits on fail points tend to be 1, not opening the ratchet enough before starting, and 2, not taking enough slack out of the tube. That's the chain and tensioner for the metal related products.